This week we're headed out to Reno Auto Show 2015.
Alright, we're off to Reno Auto Show 2015 for definitely my first day of shooting. Definitely. Alright, it might be Saturday, to be honest. But it'll be the first day of like full shooting. I got some behind the scenes, which was pretty cool. On Thursday, I shot a couple of business shots for one of the dealers on... Oh my god. We're back. Alright, take two. Alright, I think I got the camera mounted a little better, so I'll be quick. Three problems we're going to have with the shoot. A, the worst lighting in the world. It's in a convention center with really high ceilings and fairly crappy bulbs, so it's just going to be pretty awful. So probably higher ISOs. I'll bring my flash, but you know, that's if you've shot in a convention center, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Problem two, a lot of people supposedly. Now that's good on the hand of I'll get more shots of people doing people things. Problem is I don't like working with people, especially people that notice I'm taking the photo of them. There's something wrong with me. I'm more nervous about taking a photo of someone at a car show than I am in the middle of a riot. I don't know. Problem three, well, we'll find out what problem three is. I know there's going to be three problems because there's always three problems with every photo shoot. But the last one's going to be a surprise to even me, so I'll let you know when I find it. Alright, so despite fellow people on the road, I'm here eventually, later than I wanted to be, but at least it's indoors, so I didn't lose light or anything like that. So I'm just going to do a bit of setup before we go in. I'm going to do 20mm fixed Sigma 1.8 aperture lens on my Canon T1i because it handles noise better than any of my other cameras. Then I'm going to use the big guy, my 7200 on the XSI, which does not handle noise very well, but I can always switch lenses between cameras, so I can always do that. But it's nice to have ready to go in case you see something special and you just need to get a damn shot of it. So other than that, I'm going to carry my flash. I'm going to bring this. I don't actually know what this is called. I think it's diffuser. Just in case. I got an extra lens. Fisheye lens. I know it's in a sock, but that's what's in there. Business cards. I got new business cards, so I'll be carrying those. You probably can't see them on this camera, but yes, look at that. So I'll try to hand those out if anybody asks about the photos. I actually have never carried business cards before, so it'll be interesting. Oh, for the GoPro, which I'm filming on right now, I've got this suction-y thing, so I don't have to buy a lot of the sticky pads. I actually don't think I'll be using it in there, but I've got a hole in the backpack, so I'm going to toss it in. Extra batteries for the flash. Oh, and this, my full-size tripod. So you'll know why I'm going to use that in a bit. Until then, I guess we'll just head in now. Hyundai's actually got some really nice cars here. I never really thought of Hyundai as looking so good. I love this little roadster thing, and the paint on it's great for photos. Definitely going to do some auto texture shots of it.
So like I was saying, I really like that Hyundai because it had like a luster paint instead of that high gloss paint, and especially in like an auto show where there's a lot of reflections and things going on, it had this really nice smooth paint job that I couldn't have done if it had just a normal glossy paint. So an image that I noticed pretty early on in the auto show was everything was lined up very orderly, and you could kind of get these cool shots of the same model of car repeating, or at least sections of the car. So I like this one. It's looking through, one car's engine bay at the next car. So I like it. I like that style. I like the repetitive. It's cool because it's very auto show picture that you're not really going to see outside of an auto show, and I like having shoots that have a uniqueness to them, and that's definitely one at the auto show is that you're not going to shoot this. You're not going to have the ability to shoot a car next to an exact replica of it, next to another one, next to another one. That's really something you're only going to get at an auto show. So I've always really loved Mercedes-Benz. It's probably one of my favorite car companies out there. So I had a lot of fun going over to their display and getting to shoot some of the cars that I would always like to own. So as you can see, this is one of what I was talking about, that high gloss imagery. You can see every single light on the roof in this paint job. I don't mind it in this image because it is a zoomed in, and I liked having the Mercedes medallion kind of repeated 3 times, and I didn't really mind the orbs from the ceiling light, but it is a nuisance if you're trying to shoot an entire car. It's just another repeating shot, but I was much happier with this one. I liked it. It was like Ford's or something, and it just had that very cool repetitive shape, but with the different colors.
Alright, so I got some pretty good car shots, pretty much just car shots this lap. So this time I'm going for like people shots, detailers working on cars, kids in cars, I don't know. Just, more people doing things shots, which is probably my least favorite thing to do. But, I figured out the third problem, audio quality, because we got a radio going, people talking, and no sound dampening whatsoever. So this probably sounds awful, but we'll find out. So here we go, second lap, people, and then I'm going to do one last one with just a 7200mm lens, just because when I have the 7200 on, I look for photos for it, whereas right now I'm just kind of in the 20mm range. So probably another hour, maybe more, depending on what happens.
So this was definitely one of the best looking cars at the auto show. I like this image because the car is the central piece. It's where the focus is, but that the man on the left looking at his phone gives it some scale, which is I feel like that's a very important thing when you're photographing cars, is to give them scale. So while it's not necessarily a person photo, it is a photograph that has a person as a central figure. So even if I'm not going in directly photographing people at the event, I can just use them to make an image better just by them being helping frame. So as you might have guessed from my earlier statements about hating photographing people, I didn't get that many shots of people at the auto show. But where I did get some really good shots was before the show opened, while everyone was setting stuff up, and really that was when I wanted to be there. Unfortunately, I didn't have all my gear, but I feel like I still got some very good images of people setting the auto show up. Workers doing certain things, displays on the ground, things being built, and that's my style a lot more than a full, beautiful cars and people interacting with them and blah blah blah. I really like the worker taking a break, or the Jaguar artwork on the ground or something like that. That's where I feel my photographic style works in this kind of environment.
Alright, so here's why I brought the tripod. I don't own a drone, but even if I did, they're not legal here, inside. So, what I'm gonna do is I put my camera on the cord for remote triggering. And I'm gonna hold the tripod way above me. There we go. And take a photo. So we'll get some nice semi-aerial shots. I had really good luck with this last time I did it, but it's always a bit of a crapshoot because you're kind of guessing at what the camera's pointing at. So I put the lens I'm most familiar with on, my wide-angle 20mm Sigma, and to do a lap of fake aerial shots, so that'll be fun.
So I forgot to mention it while I was filming there, but the other thing the tripod allows you to do is take panoramas inside of the auto show, and like what we're looking at right now is about 3 or 4 images of the Acura booth. I really like doing this, especially when you're really closed in quarters, and it takes, there's definitely some error because you don't want to have people moving through the panorama and messing it up. But I think the panoramas that I took are actually the images I'm the happiest with because I think they show off the most amount of cars in the best. I don't know how to say it. I guess it just, cars are big, and you want cars to look big, and a panorama does a better job at letting that car be really big in the image without it just being the entire image. It still lets it have context outside of just the vehicle. So these are just 3 images that I liked of where I held the tripod up and then remotely triggered the shutter. Actually, I feel like I have a little better ones, but a car dealer actually used those, so I'm not putting them in the video. I really like the Hyundai one. Is probably my favorite. And it just gives you something extra to bring to the table. Nobody else photographing there had images above the cars. Everything was at car level or lower. I was the only photographer there shooting above the cars. So it gave me, even if they weren't necessarily the best shots, at least it was very, very different than everybody else's. And I think I got very, very good results out of it. So not only did I have a very good image, I had a very unique image, and that's something you really want to have when you're shooting events.
So I feel like at this point, I should probably explain that wasn't a car show. Alright, it was a car show. Obviously, it was a show with cars. But when I say car show, I think most people would think, the big press releases and this is the next car that we're never going to make. What this was actually 19 local dealers all bringing themselves together for what basically comes out to like a temporary mall. You go to one place and you can see everything. That has its advantages and its disadvantages. Disadvantages, you're not going to see anything new. Lexus had one supercar, and then a paint detailing company had a Ferrari, and that was it. So mostly it was like Kia Rios and things like that. The upside is, because it's not a big press release, people just can get in the cars. So if you want to move something, open a door, close the hood, you're welcome to do that. So it has its advantages and disadvantages. I'd rather shoot the big auto show, don't get me wrong, but it's still fun to shoot here. And like I said, I'm not shooting the auto show to become famous. I'm shooting the auto show because it's fun. It's cool cars. I like cars. I gotta go shoot them. And I had fun. I had fun doing it. So, some pretty cool cars, actually. I still like mine the most, though. So, happy about that. But yeah, I guess I'll go edit.
Alright, so if you want to see any of these images in their full quality, I would encourage you to take a look at my Flickr, my 500. Just follow the links in the description and you'll find them. I suggest Flickr is the #1 to go to. Normally I would say if you like any of the images enough you'd like to buy them, just contact me and I'll get them off to you. I can't really say it because I don't really feel comfortable about selling photos of companies' cars that I don't have permission to sell from. So these, not that I really thought anybody would want these, but I'm sorry, these are not for sale. Don't forget, you can always follow me on Twitter and Facebook and subscribe to YouTube. If you've got any questions or comments, just let me know. Next week, I think we're going to go up to Lake Tahoe. It's just a big guess because I live near there and I never go there. So I feel like I owe it to myself to go on a trip up there. Look forward to seeing you guys next week.